Hey everyone, Leo Bond here. I'm back again today for the Best Buy Canada plug-in blog, and this time I'm taking a look at the very cool Lenovo Jedi Challenges Augmented Reality Set, which is a Star Wars themed gaming bundle that I've been trying out for about 3 weeks now, and I've been really having a lot of fun with it. So what we're going to do here in this video is first take a look at the three main hardware components of the set, and that doesn't include all of the little connecting and charging wires and the adapter and whatnot. But once we've checked out the hardware, we're going to spend most of the remainder of the video looking at various clips of screen capture footage of the actual gameplay, because I want to try to show you as much as possible so that you get a really good sense of what this game is all about, at least insofar as how far I've made it in the game so far. So starting with the aforementioned hardware components, first there's the Mirage VR headset, which I have to say is pretty comfortable. It has adjustable straps that use Velcro to keep your adjustments secure, and honestly it fits me very, very well. It hasn't been sliding around or anything like that, and even though you do get moving around quite a bit while playing this thing, it still stays in place fairly well, although it is made definitely for an adult-sized head, so if it was a kid, it would probably move around a little bit more. Now, basically what happens is that you load the app into your smartphone and you insert it into the special holding tray, and as you slide the tray into the headset, you plug in the little connecting wire, and you know there's different ones for different types of phones, so whichever one is compatible with your phone, and that will make the connection between your phone and the headset. Now, besides the headset itself, there's also a small little light-up beacon that you place on the floor in front of you, and I think it kind of orients the position of the image that you're playing against, although the image doesn't actually emit from the beacon itself. And this beacon is the only component of the Lenovo Jedi Challenges set that requires its own outside batteries. So it takes two AA batteries, whereas both the Mirage headset and the Lightsaber Controller are basically, they charge up themselves, so they have built-in batteries. Now, speaking of that Lightsaber Controller, that is the third major hardware component of the set, and it's also the main gameplay controller. And the hilt's design is very faithfully based on Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber that Luke inherited in Episode 4. So the first lightsaber that we ever saw in the original Star Wars trilogy. And this thing is so well done that you could very easily use it as a cosplay prop if you wanted to, if you like to dress up as Star Wars characters and whatnot. Now, it's mostly made of metal, and it has an amazing amount of detail in it. It's very, very impressive, and it's even got the little loop on the end there for hanging it from your belt. So the lightsaber hilt is a very cool item unto itself, and Lenovo definitely deserves some props for their attention to detail. Now, moving along to the three main types of gameplay that Jedi Challenges offers. First, there's the hollow chest, or Dejarik if you prefer, and this one is definitely the most sedate game of the bunch. It's not exactly high energy, but it's also not boring, and in fact I enjoyed it quite a bit. So in it, you have a variety of different creatures that you can use, very much like real chess, and each of these creatures has its own special abilities and can move a specific number of spaces each turn, or in very specific patterns or ways. So for example, some creatures just possess brute strength, while others might shoot poison at their enemies from all the way across the board, and others even have the power to heal your other pieces. So lots of different powers going on, and as you progress through the game and through the different levels, you unlock more and more different types of creatures that you can use in your subsequent games. So all you have to do in order to make that happen is to win the games against the Archivist, who is your instructor throughout Jedi Challenges, but also at times your opponent. So as you go along, you'll learn different strategies for being successful in the hollow chest, and it's really quite a lot of fun, and really kind of perfect for when you just need a rest from some of the more active types of challenges. So the second type of game that you can play here is the large-scale ground wars, and as with the other different types of gameplay in this set, there's lots of different battles that you can undertake on your way up the ladder and through the different difficulty levels. So basically how this one works is that you have to very quickly and strategically place all the different weapons and personnel that you're given onto the battlefield so that you can achieve a particular goal or mission. So as you work your way through all these different missions, the challenges become more and more difficult, and very extremely difficult in some cases. But you'll also unlock new abilities and new resources as you go, and those abilities will ultimately help you to achieve your goals. And believe me, the action in these large-scale ground wars is continuous and chaotic. In fact, it's a little bit much for me, honestly. There's just too much going on and too many places that you have to be looking all at once. It's very, very challenging and quite a bit faster paced than the Dejarik, that's for sure. And although this is not my own personal favorite aspect of the Jedi Challenges bundle, I do think that a lot of people are going to really love it and enjoy it quite a bit. Especially with the complexity that it offers. It's almost like a game of Axes and Allies come to life. So for anyone that remembers that classic World War II board game that was probably still out, but it was out a few years ago for sure. So very cool, just not exactly my favorite aspect of Jedi Challenges, at least not for me personally. However, what is a big favorite with me is the third and final aspect of the Jedi Challenges gameplay, and that is the lightsaber dueling aspect of the game, which doesn't just include the one-on-one battles with villains like Darth Maul, the Seventh Sister, the Grand Inquisitor, the Praetorian Guards, Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, and ultimately your instructor, the Archivist, but it also includes a variety of different trials defending against blaster fire from all sorts of different military droids and clone troopers and stormtroopers and all that kind of stuff. Pretty much every type of infantry there is in Star Wars. And all of those battles are really quite a lot of fun, but really nothing beats the head-to-head action against the master duelists like Darth Vader and whatnot. These battles require quick reflexes and a whole lot of moving around. You really work up quite a bit of a sweat sometimes, actually, but it's a whole lot of fun. Basically how it works is that when you ignite your saber, your opponent will then appear before you, and once he or she begins to attack, you'll then see these yellow guidelines in front of you on the screen, and you basically have to align your lightsaber blade with those in order to block a strike. And those strikes can start coming pretty fast and furious at times, and it really is difficult to block all of them. And if you're not quick enough, you will be struck and you will lose some of your power or your life force or whatever. But anyway, once your opponent kind of backs off for a second, that is your chance to sort of strike back at them. And you'll definitely need to get in a good amount of shots to really take any of these opponents down. And you know, each opponent is quite different, and as you progress through each of them, it gets more and more complex as well, and they all use different tactics too. So for example, some opponents, they might actually throw stuff at you like their lightsaber, or they could use droids to attack you. So it's really difficult. And sometimes when these alternate attacks happen, you'll see these big kind of yellow arrows in front of you, and they're basically directing you to dodge either to the left or to the right, or to duck down. And whenever you see one of these arrows, you better move fast, because they're not going to give you a whole lot of time to get out of the way. And I believe there's some sort of a sensor maybe in the headset that registers whether or not you're dodging fast enough. I'm really not too sure, but somehow the game knows if you are or not. And if you're not quick, you could be facing an embarrassing defeat, and you know, some of these opponents will even mock you after they win. They're pretty vicious and nasty people. So these things can get pretty serious, these duels, but also a whole lot of fun. And this is really the kind of battle that is hands down my favorite aspect of the Lenovo Jedi Challenges. However, I should also mention that since its initial release, Lenovo has come out with at least one major upgrade to the Jedi Challenges app that increases the amount of variety and the different challenges that you can take on in the game. So the update includes various themes and characters from The Last Jedi film. So things like those porgs are in there, and I haven't reached that point yet, but I'm kind of getting close to it now. And also those Praetorian Guards that I mentioned before, they're in there too, and it's actually the first time that you're going to be doing a 1 against 2 battle, so that's pretty cool. And, you know, it all leads me to speculate and wonder what may come in the future with this particular set. I would just love it if they eventually brought General Grievous into it with his 4 lightsabers going at once. That would just be an epic battle. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens there. And, you know, even if there are no future updates with this bundle, I can definitely say that Lenovo Jedi Challenges is one of the coolest products that I've ever tested for Best Buy. And, you know, I've been having an absolute blast with it. And I strongly suspect that most other serious Star Wars fans will as well, whether or not you like the newer movies. You know, there's enough of the old stuff in there for you too. And I definitely recommend it pretty much as high as I possibly can. And that's all I'm going to say about this set for now. If you want to read a little bit more about it, do check out my complete written review over at the Best Buy Canada blog. For now, thanks for watching, thanks for reading. Hope you have an excellent day, and I will catch you in the next video.
Is that all your master taught you?